I'm Emma with the Duke iGEM team, and I'm here with Justin Park today. How are you doing today, Justin?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. You ready to get started?
Yeah.
Is this your first time working in a lab?
Yeah. Like except for like school labs.
What grade are you in?
I'm going to 12th grade.
Okay, cool. How did you end up deciding to try to get involved in college research?
One of my friends, he's actually going to Duke next year.
Oh, cool.
So he told me about his NC State research, and I just I thought it was like really cool how he got onto a paper and he contributed something to a project.
Yeah.
As a high school student, to a college like a college paper. So I was like, wow, this is a really good opportunity for him. I don't know how he got that. That's crazy. So I didn't expect to get anything from out of this. I didn't expect to get any positive responses. I just did it. I just
So what was that process like?
you.
Like trying to find a college that would let you come and do research, and then a professor would.
Well, I already set my mind on Duke. If I was going to do research anywhere, it was Duke because
Are you local?
pretty local.
Okay, cool.
But UNC Chapel Hill and NC State didn't have the particular field, and Duke happens to be one of the best biomedical engineering schools.
Yeah.
So I emailed maybe 100 professors here, and some of them said yes, some of them said no, and then
Wow, that's a lot of professors.
and it took me a long time. And eventually, I found a couple of professors. They said yes, and then I didn't expect anything at the point, so I just kept going with it. And then maybe I met with 3 or 4 professors, and then I just talked to them. They basically interviewed me, asked me questions about myself and why I want to do stuff. And then I ended up here.
Why do you want to do stuff?
I just found it really interesting how a high school student can work in a lab filled with other college students and grad students and professors and PhDs, and how you can somehow contribute something. So
Nice. One other thing I think a lot of people listening might be curious to know is what did you say in your emails? Because I know a lot of people, it's that first step of they don't even know what to write or how to approach this. That's something that blocks them a lot.
well, I basically just, if they had a lab at Duke, then I basically emailed them, but it was a generic email to most of the professors.
Uh-huh.
Some of them I checked their lab website and what they're working on, but most of them it was just hello, I'm Justin Park. I'm a student at Enloe High School in 11th grade, and I saw that you had a lab, and in the email I'd write something I've always had this interest for science, and I was wondering if you'd have any research positions available for me. And it was I submitted my CV also, and with that it wasn't that hard actually. So I think anyone could do that basically. I just wrote a generic email for all my professors, and I just sent it to all of them, and I got some positive responses, and then it worked out.
You just gotta be willing to.
Spend a little bit of time.
Take the risk.
Yeah, if you're interested, you should definitely go for it.
I think that's really helpful.
So you talked a little bit about emailing all of these professors, but you're not working with a bunch of high school students, are you?
Mm-mm. It's a pretty one-on-one experience in the lab right now, and I can see that lots of other high school students could come into the lab and also work, and surprisingly lots of professors and graduate students and undergrads are willing to take you through those steps and teach you what to do, and eventually you can be working on your own things.
Well, is it intimidating to work with graduate students and professors?
Definitely for the first couple of days, yes, it was, and it was a cool experience to actually be with people that work. At school I'm always with only students, and all we do is just go to class, homework, sleep, and then do the same thing. But now it's a completely different experience how I can come to Duke and then go to the lab and then maybe read some stuff, apply it, do some lab work, and actually experience life with working people.
So why do you like science? Out of all the things, you could have done something like this in the history department or the languages.
Honestly, I don't know why I'm so drawn to science. It's just maybe in history or reading, there's not much creation. There's a little bit, I guess, but in science, you can create stuff with stuff you know already, and I think that's what's drawn me to this field.
Why the BME department?
Honestly, this year I took biology, and whenever I take a science course, I always get drawn immediately to that course. So in freshman year is chemistry. I really love chemistry. Then sophomore year is like physics and stuff, and then this year it was biology, and I really like biology, and that's why I chose. If it was any other year, maybe I would have chosen chemistry freshman year, but it just happened to be biology, and that's what I think I want to do in college now. So
Nice.
So, are you creating anything right now?
yeah, right now we're working on the Griffithsin, and that's basically a protein that they found in red algae, and it binds really well to HIV. So what we're trying to do in the lab right now is we're trying to make E. coli produce that in higher quantities than it could in red algae or any other plants that was originally modified to do. And hopefully with that, if we can somehow get the E. coli to produce enough of it and we can mass produce it, we want to make a preventative mechanism or a diagnostic for HIV.
Are you working on your own things at this point?
Not yet, but I'm getting there. We're like, John and you are like telling me to do different things now, and now sometimes when I do lab work, I don't have supervision. You just assume that I know what to do, and then I go ahead and do that stuff. And then if I ever have any questions, I ask you.
So if you could go back in time and, tell your younger self or, a colleague of yours at school one piece of advice, what would you tell them?
Well, for sure, if you're interested, go for it. Because at first I wasn't sure if I should try because I was like, it was like, how could a high school student make it into a graduate student or like a college laboratory? And so it took me a lot of thought. My parents didn't think that I would get any positive responses, but I went ahead and did it. So, I could not be here right now. I might not be here. If I didn't email those professors, if I didn't believe that maybe I had a chance to get in, I wouldn't have done it. But now I would say if you have interest, definitely go for it.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Justin. I had a great time today, and I hope you did too.
Thank you for having me.